This is the Cash Value Solutions Podcast, where your hosts, Jason Pohlmeyer and Kyle Mann, shed light on little-known money truths to help you take control of your financial future and become your own banker. Subscribe, rate, and review the show, and check us out at cashvaluesolutions.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cash Value Solutions Podcast. What do we have going on today, Kyle?
Well, today we're going to continue our book review, and we are in a different look at the monetary value of a college degree section.
Nelson's pretty strong, has a pretty strong opinion here, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he relates this to infinite banking, and we will too, but yeah, this is a lot of opinion-based stuff here.
Yep. So let's get into it. Nelson is talking about what if instead of spending all this money to go to college, that amount of money is going to be different for everybody. What if instead we taught somebody how to become their own banker, use that money to fund a life insurance policy, and use it throughout their life?
Yeah, and he's saying that you can also use that money to then go to college if that's something that you think you need to do. But he's saying that, we're just kind of ingrained, programmed to think that you must go to college, you must get a degree, you must get a job, you must work for money, things like that.
It's just something that when you go to high school, when you're a sophomore or junior, and everybody starts asking you, well, where are you going to go to college? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And this sort of stuff. And to be honest, I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to be doing at that point in time.
I think it's, very unlikely that people, when you're 18, 19, that you know what you want to do the rest of your life. And I also don't think that, picking one thing to do your whole life is probably, good anyways. I mean, you're going to pick one thing to do from age 18 until 65, 70. I mean, how likely is that you're going to love that the whole time?
There's a lot of people that burn out and, they get, I have friends already that are just in their late 20s and, are starting to get burned out and stuff. It's like, well, now what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Other friends went to college. They couldn't even get a job in the degree or the field that they studied.
Yeah, and they're paying that school debt and they're with a job that's not even part of that degree. They went to college for psychology and they're flipping burgers at Burger King now. I mean, maybe not that dramatic, but that's a fact. I mean, they were told that, you're going to get this salary, but where's it at? Where's the job?
Here's a big problem that I have, Kyle, is when those people come in from colleges, their job is to tell you about programs and things that they have at the college and why they'd be a good fit for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's fine. But then what they go into leads to talking about salaries and how much more that you're going to make after you go through this program. But they don't tell you that that's not the salary that you start out as.
Yeah.
That's the salary that people that have been in that profession for 20 years maybe are getting.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that were very disappointed at the salary that they got when they entered a job. They're like, whoa, this is not at all what I was told.
Mm-hmm. And then another problem is if you say that, I'm not sure I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go mentor with somebody or do something along the lines. You get shot down by a lot of people because there's a lot of people that spent a lot of money on going to college and they want to justify that. I went to college myself and gained very little out of it. There was, you get the social interaction that, that's so important. What's that worth? I mean, it might be important. Spend a lot of time partying. I mean, a lot more time partying than learning. And I even tried to learn. I took classes that challenged me or I thought they would or would get something out of them. And man, I have learned so much more going to conferences and reading books than I ever did at the university.
Well, and I think that goes back to the fact that you're choosing something that you're interested in to learn. Whereas you can pick a course at a college, but there's a professor still dictating what materials you're going to go over in that course. And if you're not very interested in it, it's pretty hard to learn about something.
And also just because a university has a study or whatever, they're going to tell you that's the truth, and it's not. I remember I had a class at the university where they said, rotating your cattle, every 3 to 4 weeks, is about the same as doing it every day. Like, there's no way. That is not even close. It's not even in the realm. But here, that's what they're spouting off to people.
Well, that person that's teaching that class has their own opinions of what they want to teach, and how they teach it. And then it's just inevitable that you can find some study somewhere that will back up what you say, because every study is dictated by who is financing the study.
Exactly.
I mean, you got to pay attention to stuff like that.
A lot, yeah, and especially in today's world, I mean, with all this wild stuff going on, I mean, so you just got to use what common sense you can and go with it.
Yep. And what is the solution to this? Okay, we're listing out all the problems, okay? Well, okay, one more thing before that, since we're kind of on the list of problems, then we'll go on to a solution. Another thing is in high school, we're forced to read these things in literature. At least I was, where I went to school, and I did not care whatsoever about that material. The teacher wanted us to read 50 pages a night. At the time, I was a pretty slow reader, and that would have taken me probably 2 hours to get through.
Thank God for Spark Notes.
Spark Notes were a savior. And I mean, it like trains you to hate reading. It trains you to hate learning.
Yeah, for reading.
But it's what I found finally after learning about the infinite banking concept is that I didn't hate reading. I just hated the stuff that I was forced to read in school. And then I was tested on it.
Yeah, I mean, that put a horrible taste in my mouth reading. I don't think I really read a full book until my senior year in college from high school. And I'm not proud of that, I mean, now I absolutely love reading, but yeah, that just puts a horrible taste in everybody's mouth because you're just used to reading BS that doesn't matter.
Yeah. And me too. Like I like now I struggle to find time to read, but it's like I want to, I got a huge reading list of things that I want to get to.
Yeah, it's never ending.
For me, it's like it's the complete opposite now. It's like, wow, I really enjoy reading and what I gain from it.
Yeah.
So
yep, they try to put you in a one size fits all reading whatever. Oh yeah, you need to read this Shakespeare because whatever reason.
And honestly, Kyle, I don't remember anything.
I don't either.
I don't even remember the titles of the books that I read.
I don't either.
Okay, but anyways, we've talked a ton about the problem. Here's a potential solution that I see. What if instead of kids having to make up their mind, pick a degree that they want to go and study at college, what if they just go to work and they do something for a while, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, see if they even like it. At that point in time, maybe they need to go to college. Maybe they don't. Maybe they learned enough on the job that they can just continue learning there and be fine.
And they could take that money that they saved from not going to college, start putting a life insurance policy, and have a place where they're building their financing capability for the rest of their life.
They're building up their ability to start performing the banking function in their life.
Yeah, I mean, there's paid mentorships. They could go pay to work for people and see if they like it or not, and take those profits, stick in a life insurance policy or whatever.
There's paid mentorships. There's also ones that are free or that'll pay you even. I mean, a lot of these guys, and I'm speaking from my own knowledge and stuff, like I listen to a lot of podcasts now. There's a lot of guys that they're doing interesting stuff in agriculture. And like they're happy. They need hands on their farms and ranches to get work done.
Mm-hmm.
They're happy to trade teaching you for some of their time.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I could go back and instead of going to college, go work for John Kempf, I mean, the rate of return on that would be unimaginable. I mean, people like him are just so full of knowledge, and I would even pay, to go work for a guy like that.
I just listened to a podcast. He was getting interviewed. He said he reads 3 to 5 books a week and 50 white papers.
It's insane.
That's just on average what he does a week.
Yep.
And he said if the material isn't too deep and I can get a good understanding of it, I can read 100 pages an hour.
If you're if you're really into agriculture, regenerative agriculture, you should check out the Regenerative Agriculture podcast by John Kempf. It is absolutely excellent.
Yeah, that's some really fun learning.
He's the guy that, colleges should be, taking his stuff that he is teaching and teaching it to kids.
He's actually applying it and seeing the results with farmers, with people, not just in small little trials. He's doing it with other producers at a large scale.
But his downfall is he doesn't have Bayer or any of the other big ag companies, behind him, like some of these college programs do.
Right. Then
And the
he's not
science
getting
behind
financed
that.
by that.
So,
Yep. Okay. What about the end here, Kyle? Nelson goes over a section here with Susie Q student talking about, well, what if instead of going to medical college, what would the value of her parents, be if she funds a life insurance policy? They teach her about the banking function and stuff.
yeah, so he says, like, instead of her going to college, what if she, funded this policy, found something she wanted to do? She could eliminate the need for expensive malpractice insurance. She could eliminate the need to establish a retirement plan. She doesn't have to worry about if Social Security runs out. And she can take that money that she's saved from not going to college that she's put in this life insurance policy. And this is an example that he uses. She could buy cars and lease them out to all the professors that teach at these medical schools, because they're all driving new cars, and she could make money on her leases like that.
And I'm going to go back to something that Nelson says early on in the book. The infinite banking concept, you have to use imagination, reason, and logic. Use your imagination. What if there's a business that you want to start? You could use this to fund that business.
The other problem with school, we're not taught to use our imaginations. We're taught to
you gotta look through the book, find the answer, and that's just that's all it is. It's memorization, like you're gonna say. And a lot of you guys could attest to that, I bet. How many times would you study something, and maybe the chapter was like a week or a week and a half. All of a sudden the test is coming up, so you spend an hour going through, checking things out, trying to memorize it, and after that, the knowledge is just out the door.
Gone.
You care less about it.
Yep.
I mean, it's just sad. If you can spend time learning about something you're interested in, it is so much more fun and so much more rewarding.
And if you still hate reading, give it one more chance. Find something that you're interested in, like becoming your own banker, farming without the bank. Give those books a chance, and read it and see if maybe I don't hate reading.
My goodness, Kyle, think about this. If you could take just 2 hours a night for 5 days, you don't even have to do this on the weekend, read those 2 books, what could that do to change your financial future for the rest of your life?
It would be unrecognizable.
I mean, that's all it would take.
That's 2 Netflix shows that we just don't watch. For those, you can watch them on the weekend, but
and you can binge on the weekend, because I'm not saying you have to take 2 hours on the weekend.
Yep.
But anyways, after you guys read those books, reach out to us, ask us questions. I mean, we're here to answer them. We don't charge anything to do that. We're only paid by the insurance companies when we put business in force. So,
yeah, give us a call if this is something you're interested in learning more about. We'd love to talk to you.
Yeah, and if you have questions, if it's a popular one, we can add them onto the podcast and share it with other people.
Yep.
Because a lot of times people have the same type of questions for us.
If you have the question, it's likely someone else does too.
Yep. There's no dumb question, because if you don't know about something and you aren't aware of it, it's just you got to know. So.
Yep.
Anyways, that's all we have for this section of the book, I think. Anything you want to add, Kyle?
Nope. Thanks for tuning in this week, and we'll be back next week.
All right. See you guys.
This was the Cash Value Solutions Podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Check us out at cashvaluesolutions.com. And don't forget to tune in next week.